At times, our altruistic actions can lead to unexpected consequences. Such was the case for a boy who rescued a stray dog from the river. Just 2 days later, he found himself regretting his decision until an extraordinary event unfolded. The boy spotted a dog drifting in the water, barely moving and seemingly resigned to its fate. Diego didn't hesitate. He dashed into the water and swam out to the dog. While unsure how the dog had ventured so far out, he felt compelled to help, perhaps as a tribute to his own dog, his beloved companion who had recently passed away from old age. Despite the dangers, including the risk of the dog turning aggressive and the challenging river currents, Diego, an avid animal lover, couldn't simply watch as the dog struggled. Exhausted, the pup made no attempt to escape as Diego carefully guided him to the riverbank. Although weary from the effort, Diego felt a sense of relief that the most challenging part was behind him. Upon reaching dry land, however, the dog's condition didn't improve. Despite opening its eyes, it showed no signs of lifting its head, and its body bore numerous wounds. Diego speculated that the dog might have been injured by debris in the river, emphasizing the urgent need for help. The boy ran home as fast as he could and screamed at his parents for help. The dog was breathing, but he was still in serious danger, and the three of them jumped in the car and drove to the vet clinic nearby. The vet agreed that the dog was not doing great, and he was a lot weaker than he should have been from just being in the water for a while. It was a mystery, one that the vet was determined to get to the bottom of. The gashes on the dog's body didn't look like wounds from debris. Instead, they looked like bite marks. The vet feared that the dog was attacked. They stitched the dog up and got him on medicine. While the dog was in the vet's care, Diego came to visit him a lot. 2 days after Diego last went to visit Jack, as he called the dog, he got a very nasty surprise. The local police were waiting for him. They wanted to arrest Diego. Even with the vet speaking out for the boy, the police took him to the police station. Diego was terrified. No one wanted to listen. They didn't believe that he had saved the dog from the river. They kept accusing him of hurting the dog. He couldn't believe his ears. It was enough to almost make the boy regret saving the dog. But when he thought of Jack's little tail wagging when he went to visit, he knew it was still worth it. After speaking to Diego's parents, the police released him and apologized. What they had to say was very shocking, and no one expected what would happen next. The police knew about a dog fighting operation being run in the area. They had found a bunch of dogs with bite marks being dumped all around, but these dogs hadn't made it. When they heard about Jack and his wounds, they knew he had come from the same ring. The police were desperate to shut down this illegal and horrible ring. They even had a suspect who they were certain ran most of it, but they didn't have enough on the man to pin him down. They heard he had teenage boys working for him, and since Diego was a teenager, they figured he was part of all of it. Thinking of Jack as part of the dog fight was heartbreaking. No wonder the poor boy looked so broken when Diego found him. The boy wanted to help. His parents didn't like it, but they allowed him to make the choice. He'd offered to help the police find proof of the dog fighting ring. Since the man employed teenage boys, Diego might get in without him getting suspicious. He was a big businessman, and they might get nothing on him, but it was a better option than doing nothing. The police weren't sure about using a boy, but seeing how eager he was, they decided to go for it. This could be their only chance to save more dogs. The next day, Diego went out to the man's home. The man was called Perez, and he had a big piece of land without buildings. Diego asked to see him and then explained that some of his friends worked for Perez and told him that he could ask for work. He even gave him some names of people that used to work there. Thiago told the man that his family was in financial trouble and that he wanted to help them out. Not thinking a boy would help the police, the man agreed to give him work. At first, it was small jobs like washing his cars or clearing out the horse stalls. Diego often heard dogs barking, but he could never find them. Then one day, Perez told him to clean up one of the outbuildings. When he went in there, his heart dropped. It was a big building with chairs in the corner and an area in the middle that was fenced. The inside was filled with blood. That was what he had to clean. Before starting, he sent photos to the police and asked what he should do, but they needed more evidence. He had to clean it. The poor boy would have nightmares about that scene for a while, but the incident showed that Perez was starting to trust him. The men that worked with him also came and went, and they got used to seeing the boy around. It was horrible, but one of the things that they had been working towards. Soon, this incident was going to pale in comparison to what happened next. Perez came to Diego one day and offered him a raise, but he would have one chore added to his schedule. He wanted the boy to feed all his dogs, but since he had too many, the boy wasn't allowed to ever speak about it. With his heart beating loudly, the boy agreed. Perez took him to a room filled with dog crates, many stacked on top of each other, and inside them there were dogs that looked miserable. Diego couldn't believe how many there were. Some still looked fine, but others had many scars that had healed over time, some badly. Diego couldn't believe it. He promised them he was going to help them out of this miserable life, and his opportunity soon came. Perez told him to get a bunch of dogs ready for an event. He wanted them out of their crates and moved to the room with the fence. Diego knew that the time had come. He knew the fighting ring was going to stage a fight soon. Taking the dogs to the room felt horrible. Knowing what they were going to have to endure was terrible, and the boy felt responsible for them. But the police told him to do what he was told and then go home. Diego left with tears streaming down his face. He just hoped that this was going to work. The police watched from the bushes all around the land. They saw many people arrive, security checking everyone as they came in. When cars stopped coming and the security went inside, they knew that the horrible event was starting. They moved in. The police quickly rounded up everyone at the event, and they had enough evidence to charge them all. Perez was finally going to go to jail for a long time with all the evidence they had on him, thanks to Diego. They saved 100 to 120 dogs, including the ones that would have fought that night. Many of them were microchipped, and their families were grateful to get them back. Diego's courage earned him the status of a hero in the eyes of many. Meanwhile, Jack's future seemed uncertain. His original family, concerned about the potential for aggression stemming from the dog's traumatic experience, hesitated to take him back despite his lack of aggressive behavior. However, a remarkable turn of events unfolded. One day, upon returning home from school, Diego found Jack waiting for him. His parents had decided to adopt the dog, ensuring that Jack would have a loving family, and Diego would once again have a faithful companion by his side. It was a fitting outcome for Diego, who had gone above and beyond to help a dog in need. I hope you liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.